Alright, Hasbro G.I. Joe team, now you're just showing off. So many barbecues. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and kind of a light week. Well, okay, full disclosure, I am recording this on Thursday, so I'm missing a day of news. If something happens on Friday, which I think it's already been announced that Super 7 will have an announcement tomorrow, but I'll be on an airplane heading up to Minneapolis so I can watch Hangman Page beat Kenny Omega for the AEW Championship. Well, I could probably go either way. You know how it is. This will be my first live wrestling show since 98, 99, somewhere in there, so I'm excited. But until then, there's still toys to talk about. Here's something we probably should have expected, but didn't. Well, after the fact, it's pretty obvious, but in some ways, I still adhere to the magic of this hobby. I avoid spoilers and rumors don't stick in my head, and I think that's for a reason. Subconsciously, if I don't see plastic, then it's not real. Therefore, I forget about it as soon as I talk about it. Anyway, here is the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Boss Fight Studio Popeye Classics Black and White Popeye with Sweepy. This just feels natural. It feels right. The very, very, very slight sepia tone gives it an age look, which is appropriate because when I see this, I automatically think newspaper, comic strip. Look at it. Plastic nostalgia. There's no denying. Although I don't think I'll ever get used to Popeye without a hat because I guess I'm not used to seeing him that way. But I'm not going to complain about options. If you're in it for that, here it is. Me? You got to have a hat on. And I have that option too. $40, second quarter of 2022. NECA continues their string of reveals with the Back to the Future 1985 Doc Brown. And now that I see it in plastic form, it surprises me that they didn't lead off with that, or it hadn't already been made, but it also makes sense because it's only at the first and the last of the movie he looks like this, right? I've said this several times before, but out of the whole cast of Back to the Future, it's Christopher Lloyd's looks and expressions that lend themselves to action figure form the best, and this just proves it again. But you know the crazy thing that draws my eye? The tool belt. I don't know what it is, the details, the colors, the electrical tape just hanging there without a care, but with so much purpose. I've passed on the NECA Back to the Future line so far, but this one may snag me just because it's so iconic. And maybe I do need some representation of this movie on the shelf somewhere. What I didn't pass on out of pure luck and timing and right place, right time is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 movie April and Casey 2-pack. This popped up on Walmart.com a while back with no pictures, no description, but for $50 I thought, I'm gonna take a chance and see what happens. Then this week NECA showed the pictures and I'm fairly happy. Yeah, there's some reuse, and when you get down to it, it's a man and a woman in normal everyday clothes with some neato accessories. But then again, it's April freaking O'Neil and Casey goddamn Jones. I'll take them. Well, I hope I'll take them because Walmart has already marked the pre-order as delayed, and as good as Walmart is with their pre-orders, I'm kind of afraid that they're going to cancel it on me at any point. That's why I'm hoping with the reveal of the actual pictures that it'll go back up for pre-order on Walmart.com or it starts showing up at stores. During Monday Fwoosh Live, we established that the Gatorade and the binoculars are actually from an earlier scene when Raph is on the rooftop about to get attacked by the Foot. Casey's kind of a few buildings over. So yeah, it kind of ties in with other parts of the movie too. So yeah, like I said, hopefully this pops up and it's fairly easy to get, but we'll see. Mezco had a surprise 1/12 Collective Rumble Society drop this week with the burner edition of Vapor. Now, I'm not into Rumble Society. There's a few I can fudge onto other shelves, but this is a bit too stylized for my displays. But I know there's people into Rumble Society out there, so here you go. Another version of Vapor. Although for a split second I thought, young Solomon Grundy. I could fit that on my DC shelf. But then I stopped. I already talked myself into too many other toy lines that I have no attachment to, just because. Oh, this'll work over here. It looks great. I better get it. Hopefully me passing got this into someone else's hands, someone who wanted it more than I did. Especially since it sold out so fast, and that's one of the problems a lot of people have with Rumble Society, is that here you go. No, well, that and how they release so fast when we're still waiting for other figures. We got Conan, and finally, but, you know, 89 Batman, Mr. Freeze. There's more than a few others that have been waiting in line for a long time, and these Rumble Society characters keep jumping in front of them. But all the options here are fantastic with the different clothing options, the alternate boots, Molotovs, hat, headphones, respirator, paints, and tools. But I think the most striking feature is the ultra bright white skin tone against the shaded red eyeballs. Oh, I'm doing it again. I'm talking myself into it as I speak. It's like, oh, that is pretty cool and I like that and maybe I could, but I'm shit out of luck because it is sold out. It did go to waitlist for a little bit, but nope. Done. Gone. But as I was getting prepared for the weekly and looking at pictures, I had forgotten or I had blocked out that it has flocked hair. So that doesn't enter my house at all. I'm happy for y'all who like it, but no thank you. All that makes me talking about it right now kind of useless because, hey, here's a toy that you can't get if you missed the original pre-order. So I'm sorry for that, but it was a new toy. I had to talk about it. Okay, I'm gonna be as delicate and mature as possible here. If things go off the rails in the comments, that's on y'all. LooseCollector has updated the upper torso sculpt of the Executive Replicas Red Sonja to be more realistic. That's probably not the best word to use here. One of the fan feedbacks LooseCollector got was that the armor on that section of the body probably shouldn't cover as much as it did. And then he even admits that this type of armor probably wouldn't exist in the real world. It actually doesn't offer a lot of protection in the first place, but it's a design. It's what the character looks like. It doesn't stop there. Just this morning, he showed that the thigh swivel has been removed and moved up to right under the strap on the leg, so it's hidden now. It was placed that low because that's the roundest part of the leg and breaks the sculpt the least when you turn it. But hey, if you have a chance to go for it, you might as well. Then Vampirella also gets an alternate head with open mouth, fangs bared. She originally only came with a neutral face, which is okay. I think most people are gonna go for the blood-sucking look. And then finally for Purgatory, there's an alternate hairpiece that's less windblown. It's kind of neutral. They call it the classic hair. Nice improvements and some added value to each figure, but I think the big takeaway here is that LooseCollector is receptive to feedback. That right there makes me want to support the cause even more because he listens. Red Sonja, Vampirella, and Purgatory are currently up for pre-order between $63 and $75 depending on where you pre-order it from, and should be available next summer sometime. Okay, this is the one that's gonna hurt. This is the one that's gonna come back and bite me when this video posts. Again, I'm recording this on Thursday, and Super 7 said that they will announce the next wave of ThunderCats Ultimates! That will be revealed and go for pre-order on Friday. That's tomorrow for me right now. That's today if you're on Patreon, and it was yesterday if you're on YouTube. Hello future, it's me from the past. So at the moment, all I have is this nifty teaser of Red Lion-O. That means evil, right? I could have researched it, but I didn't. Like I always say, there should be a goatee involved in these situations. It would just make everything so much easier. But that's not all from Super 7 this week. There's also the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Undercover Raphael. Now all signs pointed to Undercover Donatello headlining a future wave to go along with the Samurai Leo and the Surfer Mikey that headlined previous waves. So maybe this is a test run of some kind? Get more money out of the soft goods coat and hatted heads, maybe? And I do understand the historical significance. Playmates did release all 4 turtles in undercover gear back in the day, so this is a great exclusive. In fact, it kind of makes me think that Undercover Leonardo and Michelangelo will pop up as exclusives at other outlets, and then Donatello in wave 7 or 8. Is that how far we are with this line? Either way, more TMNT is not a bad thing. $55, third quarter of 2022. I think we had already known about the Sentinel SV Action Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Penny Parker, and Spdur, but oh man, teases do not compare to solicitation pictures and full-on pre-orders. Just look at this thing. The reds, the blues, the angular sculpt, the facial features, well, okay, facial features, you know what I'm talking about. The nifty tampos that are accurate to the movie. It's listed as having swappable heads and test battery, but I'm thinking it's just an LED light and then the dome comes off with different faces on it. And while I worry about the clear light blue joints in the limbs, I love how it beautifully simulates the energy bonds in the film. Plus, it looks like it allows those limbs to be swapped between the different holes. You can move the legs up, you can move the arms to the holes in the back, just all kinds of configurations to it. Unfortunately, Penny Parker seems to be just a statue. They've done this with other lines, and I don't know why the younger females always get the short end of the stick here. It's not like they haven't jammed articulation into thin arms and legs before. I mean, look at Miles. I guess it makes sense with the price point of $115 falling somewhere between that Miles and then the super deluxe Peter Parker that comes with the big gargoyle. Maybe we'll get another release with a moving Penny Parker and a statue spitter of some kind. Although I have to think that they're going to try to beat everybody else to that super articulated, movie accurate noir Spider-Man. That seems like a logical step. Like I said, $115 scheduled for June. What you say to finishing this off with a little bread, a little butter? StarWars.com snuck a couple of Hasbro Black Series figures out on us, and this is what I've been waiting for. Some unique sculpting to sweeten the pot. You know, just to balance things out a bit. We know we're going to get reuse, but this is what we live for. Ahsoka looks fairly new. If she is reusing parts, it doesn't jump out at me right off the bat. And like I always say, I will add anything Mandalorian to the shelf. Even though Ahsoka spans back before that, this is her Mandalorian look. And give me more. Plus, this is one step closer to getting all the iterations of Ahsoka. I think that just leaves her early Clone Wars youngest look, maybe? At least in 6-inch Black Series form. But as much as I love this reveal, it's the Death Watch Mandalorian that kind of makes me put the Sherlock Holmes hat on and start digging into all the parts and pieces. At first I thought that is just that early Season 1 Din Djarin body with a deluxe Return of the Jedi Boba Fett bucket on top. There's more to it than that. Well, okay, it's a lot of that, but there's more. Boba Fett's dent has been removed from the helmet, and then the armor pieces on the Din Djarin body, they've been cleaned up too. They've taken out the damage and the dings in various places. The bracers are missing detail sculpt on the front of it, then below the waist, the pants have extra angled lines sculpted in and an altered fly. And I say that just because it's not actually Mandalorian's crotch. Could this be some of that 3D paint they talked up for the muddy Mandalorian at Target? Or did they actually go back and remold some parts and pieces? Because with a different belt, some altered colors, and the head underneath, this is 98% Axe Woves. Was that costing out the changes made here? Or did they just want to give us a kick-ass looking Death Watch Mandalorian? According to Yakface, these are the last two reveals in the wave that also contains the Client, Omega, and Echo, so hopefully we'll be seeing some, pre-orders soon. Hopefully. And that's it for this week. I know it doesn't seem like a lot. This is a shorter weekly than usual, but we'll swing back around. If I miss something, or something pops up over the weekend, there's always Monday Fwoosh Live, there's always the next weekly, because we always gonna come back and talk about some toys. If you're interested in seeing any of these pictures up close without me all Ultimates, I'll be posting all of that along with links to more information, pre-orders on the Fwoosh front page Saturday at noon. But if you can't wait that long, it's all in the description. And that picture from the first was my Target, and it blew my mind when I walked in there and saw all those on the bottom shelf right around from the end cap, not in the actual G.I. Joe section. But then there was also the new wave of Masters of the Universe Origins. There was the Fantastic Four Retro wave, all Sue Storm. I don't know what's going on there. It was just a whole peg of Invisible Womans. There was most of the Eternal waves, including Thena. What else was there? There was the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Chrome Dome. To go back around to G.I. Joe, there was also Flint, and Lady J, and Cobra Commander. They had the new Marvel Legends MCU Vulture repaint, which, oh, that's tempting. Am I going to break down and get that? I also hadn't been to my Target in several weeks because I got tired of just going in there and seeing the same old stuff. Are things turning around for the holiday season? Or is stuff actually getting shipped out, getting received? I don't know. All I can say is that at my Target, there's a bounty of riches. Then again, my Walmarts haven't, well, okay, never mind. I did find another R.S. Singh yesterday, so I guess that case showed up again. And yeah, I bought another R.S. Singh. Is that a problem? Maybe things are turning around. Or maybe they're about to get worse. If you enjoyed this Fwoosh Weekly, comment, like, and subscribe. Much, much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. And I'm going to say it again, I am super excited about seeing AEW in person because, man, I mentioned that the last live show I saw was back in the late 90s sometime, and that was WCW Nitro. That's what AEW reminds me of. That kind of competition feeling, that kind of fun. I don't know. It's very nostalgic in a new way. And who doesn't want to see John Silver as Wolverine? I mean, and now you're picturing it.